Hello, Robotics Notes fans, and welcome to another episode of Robotics Notes Elite Like Animal Crossing. It is January 24th, 4:34 in the morning. Let's load the data. Akiho Pav. The sky is a pale blue. While gazing up at said sky, I hum the Gun Barrel theme song to myself. It's the Season 1 theme, my favorite. It's also the ending theme, so its melody has kind of a sad touch to it. I think it fits our current situation perfectly. After the last few days of testing, we're finally transporting Gun Build 2 to the old airport in Nakatane-cho. Gun Build 2's been loaded atop a large truck. I stretch my arms out as it sways back and forth. I feel like I'm an old lady leisurely driving a tractor after finishing the day's farm work. Car after car passes us from behind. I remain seated in the truck bed and gaze out at the scenery slowly rolling by. There are sugarcane fields stretching far and wide. It's almost time for harvest, so they're way taller than me. I like listening to them rustle as they sway in the wind. This kind of tranquil scenery doesn't match the visual of the giant Gun Build 2 sitting in the truck bed. Just yesterday, the trucks that Nason got for us arrived at the TNSC, which also meant that it was time to haul our butts out of the first Osaki office. We split up the upper and lower body of Gun Build 2 yesterday, then loaded them onto 2 trucks first thing this morning. Us third years basically have no classes, so me and Jun were there for it. Kai's on standby at the old airport. Can't say I'm happy about all this. It feels like we're being forced to retreat after being defeated in battle. It's not like we represent this island or anything. We're not in any place to complain either. But it still feels like nobody needs us one bit, so it sucks. With Gun Build 1, things turned out the way they did because of us. It stunk, but I accept what happened. But with Gun Build 2, we put our skills together and made something rad. Yet it feels like we've been thrown away. I'm legit concerned. Meanwhile, Jun is sleeping soundly next to me, back against Gun Barrel. I had heard that she could fall asleep anywhere, but seeing how she's doing it here of all places, she must not get much sleep. She doesn't just have chores. She's also doing karate. She told me she tries to find time to sleep whenever she can. For example, even on a truck bed in the middle of a cold winter day. If I leave her like this, she might catch a cold. Try poking Jun's cheek with my fingertip. Whoa, you're mad soft. Yeah, Jun's always had a baby face, but the springiness of her skin is so youthful that it's got me jealous. If only I could have done sports. Nah, hoping for the impossible isn't gonna get me anywhere. What if Jun's lying about her age? What if she's younger than she lets on? She's short, looks like a junior high kid, so... Her eyelids twitch slightly, but she shows no sign of waking up. The wind blows. It's getting chilly. There's about 10 kilometers separating the Tanegashima Space Center and the hangar in Nakatane-cho. The truck we're riding in is plodding along at around 10 kilometers per hour, even slower when we go uphill. It's been about 30 minutes since we started moving. We're probably a little under halfway there. We've still got a ways to go. I look up at Gun Build 2's lower body lying on the truck bed. The robot's currently split into 2 chunks. The upper body is in the other truck driving ahead of us. Nason's in the passenger seat of that one. Oh, and for the record, both drivers are JAXA personnel. It's so big! I can hear the shrill voice of a kid when I look in the voice's direction. I find two... Oh, I can hear the shrill voice of a kid. Period. When I look in the voice's direction, I find two elementary schoolers. They're both wearing backpacks and heading the same direction as us. One is a boy wearing a yellow jacket with a black backpack. The other is a boy in shorts with a blue backpack. Are they heading home from school? Naturally, their eyes are focused on the truck bed we're riding in, or more specifically, Gun Build 2. Our eyes happen to meet, so I wink at them as the friendly young lady I am. The two boys look at each other, then look back at me without even a smile. Is that a rocket? Well, that was unexpected. Nope, it's not a rocket. It's a robot. A robot? Liar. It's just junk. Wanted to see a rocket. Why, you little... Ugh! I'm so annoyed. And with the best, worst timing possible, the truck stops at a red light. As do the children. Time to show these kids a thing or two. Can you two use Itaro? When the two boys nod, I put on a smug smile and point at Gun Build 2 behind my back. Take a look. It's pretty amazing. The boys whip out their phone droids and do as told. Holding them up at face height, they peer through the screen. Whoa, what is that? Gunvarel's legs. Ew, she said Gunvarel. Nobody cares about that old crappy robot. You take that back. Both of you sit down right now. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Run away! The boys flee just after the light turns green and the truck starts. I lost my chance to chase him down, leaving me with nothing but rage in my chest. I fear for the future of Japan. You're shouting. Did something happen? Jin sleepily tilts her head toward me. Morning, Jin. Akio-chan, did something sad happen? Yes, very sad even. Wonder if everyone's hearts have already grown distant from Gunvarel. At least that's how it's starting to feel to me. Alongside last year's episode leak, there were rumors that a large chunk of staff had been murdered. Even then, I guess I wasn't ready to hear those kids call Gunvarel an old crappy robot. For someone like me who's given so much of herself to the show, it's a real shock. Jin, do you mind letting me cry into your chest a little? Huh? Huh? I cleaned at Jin's chest and let the tears flow. It's been a while since I last came to the old airport. I've been going to the TNSC virtually every single day since Model 2's completion. Before that, I was focused on finding the Kimijima reports. Actually, you know what? This might be my first time here this year. And so I've been in this chilly warehouse playing Kill Ballad since this morning. Thank goodness it's not so cold that my fingers go numb. This place has no electricity or stove to speak of, so winters are hellish. Yashio-senpai, what time did they say prototype Model 2 was set to arrive? Beats me. Only Subaru and I are in the hangar. Today, Model 2 is being removed from the first Osaki office. Which is why Akio and Jino went over there this morning. I'm on standby over here. Thanks to their efforts, I get to sit here and play KB. Should I try calling Aki-chan? No, there's no need. However, if it gets too late, I'll be going home. Are you done editing? Not yet. Subaru met up with me right after finishing school. By the way, Frau contacted me earlier. I've got nothing to do there today, so I'm shutting myself in. Peace. It's basically a progress report, so I don't have to play it up. It just needs to be edited together is all. Subaru's been staring down his phone droid for a while now. He's working on a video detailing the production process of Model 2 for submission to the Expo committee. Exhibitors need to submit twice for the Expo, once 2 months prior and once right before, should anything come up. Not sure why that's phrased that way. Exhibition rights can be withdrawn. Our video inspection 2 months ago went by without an issue, though at the time Model 2 was mostly incomplete. This is the second submission. If there aren't any problems, we'll be given permission to exhibit at the Expo. We finished filming the day before yesterday, just before we were kicked out of the TNSC. After some light editing, we'll submit the video. It's about 10 minutes long. Subaru's in charge of that process. How does it look? Do you think we'll get disqualified? I don't know. This is a first for me after all. But considering Model 2's level of completion, I believe there should be no problem. That reminds me, didn't Aki-chan give you some footage? Are you adding that to the video too? Yes. Subaru wears an uneasy smile on his face. Sometimes I'm not sure if our Prej is actually amazing or not. Oh, did she do something weird? Not exactly. Would you like to take a look? I should probably check just to make sure. Subaru sends me a link to download the footage. After grabbing it, I hit the play button. Huh? You're filming already? I'm Akio Sanomiya, 18 years old and the president of the Central Tanegashima High Robot Research Club. Storm and Surge, Blast of Spirit, Gunvero, Jackie. Well, good to go? Could you please say something of actual substance? That wasn't good enough? Since we made a life-size Gunvero, I think its catchphrase is more than substantial enough. Take two. Wait. I'm thinking of what to say. Just act normal. If you say anything too weird, I'm cutting you off. Give me some time. I know. Give me a topic. And how about your ambitions? What do you hope to accomplish by going to the Expo? My ambitions. Okay, got it. Giant robots are my dream. Giant robots are something that everyone longed for at some point in their lives. Giant robots are heroes to kids. Giant robots are champions of justice. I love giant robots. I'd be super happy if everyone else could learn to love them too. Alright, perfect. After the video ends, I look up at Subaru. He simply shrugs at me. Thanks to the whole Gunrail controversy, robot anime has been on a decline. Former fans keep distancing themselves from it. But even amidst that, our simple-minded Prez can stand proudly and talk about her love for them. How? I'm not trying to criticize her, mind you. I just find it strange. It's because you've grown cynical. My apologies. Nah, it's normal to question where that fire of hers comes from. First and foremost, it's pretty rare in and of itself that a girl would love robot anime that much. And at the end of the day, Aki's just, well, earnest. She hasn't wavered once since she was a little kid. She may be slow, but I respect that about her. Even if she is slow. I'm well aware. Earnest, eh? Considering how long you've known her, you must be right. You could even rephrase it as commendable or even kind of simple honesty. That said, I have no idea what her driving force is. Oh, come on, isn't it obvious? She's chasing after the legacy of her older sister as hard as she can. Aki-chan has a severe sister complex. I'm surprised. I didn't think it'd be that simple. Again, that's because you've become cynical. You really don't have to point that out to me every single time. He must be self-aware considering how defensive he's getting. But now I understand why she was so attached to Prototype Model 1. Her sister is the Misaki Sonomiya, correct? Can't imagine chasing after her legacy would be anything but a path of thorns. Sure, if you tried to do it for real. But Misane left two things on this island. The Robot Club and its gun build project. The equation is pretty simple. Completing the robot equals catching up to Misane. Isn't that just a form of dependence? How so? Prez seems completely dependent on her sister. And not for herself either. She's doing it all for Misaki Sonomiya. Isn't that why she's going as far as to sacrifice her own post-grad plans? She's only looking at the now, not the future. That seems like nonsense to me. But maybe that's only because I'm cynical. What, are you trying to say she needs to try and stand up on her own 2 feet? Even you aren't skilled enough to do that. Oh, that was sarcasm just now. It's then that I hear a car horn coming from outside. A trailer comes onto the airport apron. Figured Model 2 had finally arrived, but when I go outside to take a look... Yo! Doc exits from the driver's seat. You're early, Doc. Model 2 isn't here yet? With Model 2 being moved, we'll have to perform our reassembly work here at the hangar. And so we asked the robot doctor here for support. Wait, weren't you going to come with a crane? Like with Model 1, we're planning to use a mobile crane to stand the robot up. But Doc came here in a big truck. There's no crane, but there is something else loaded on the back. Mobile crane will be here soon. But before that, I want to give this to you kids. Doc's already wrinkled face wrinkles even further as he points to the truck bed. Whatever's in there is covered with a sheet. What is that? Monopole motors. We already have enough motors. Are they spares? What, did Robot Club not tell ya? As I've noted before, he's referring to Akiho in this case, not the club as a whole. There are spare motors for Model 2 as well as the motors for Model 1. Model 1? Oh, that's right. Akiho's been chipping away at Model 1 while working on Model 2. Who paid for these? Since they're for Model 1, the Space Candy Company fronted the cash. Looks like the president is a wee bit bitter that JAXA took the sponsorship for Model 2. Utterly ridiculous. Nonsense even. It's not like the Space Candy Company hasn't been providing funding for prototype Model 2. We even have their logo plastered on the front of the robot. I don't know the details, but he probably just wanted Model 2 all to himself. Either way, the president has been fronting the cash for Model 1. Even though last year's activation test was a flop, Robot Club somehow managed to convince him to help out. Yeah, she's been working on it in her spare time. She's going around ordering monopole motors. I wish she would have consulted us beforehand. Ain't nothing to worry about. They're all compatible with Model 2. They're motors built with unknown tech, so who knows when they might break down. Y'all need spares. Anyhow, come on, help me out. We gotta unload these beasts. Doc brought 6 extra motors with him. You know what? This old dude may very well be more excited about this stuff than even Akiho is. By the way, Subaru, I have something of a proposal for you. What's that? What do you think about pile bunkers? Those were the things M45 was equipped with. They gave me a real hard time back during Robo 1. Do you intend to equip Model 1 or Model 2 with them? Not necessarily. It's just, well, in my old age, I've kinda awoken to building giant robots. Considering the current robot boom and all, who knows when there might be a demand for this stuff. Hell, I could even start selling monopole motors. I'd pay you guys a material fee for them, of course. In the next 5 years, there will be tournaments like Robo 1, but for giant robots over 10 meters tall, I think. If that happens, there'd be a huge demand for shops dealing in giant robot parts for private use. The Tetsuhara Fujita brand could end up writing history for the giant robot industry. That doesn't fire you up, you ain't no man. It's like he's a totally different person now. Once a quiet craftsman, now a total mad scientist. While I agree that pile bunkers are the dream, I doubt there'd be a demand for such dangerous things. Subaru's not buying what Doc's selling. Dream, eh? Glad to see some of you young folk get it. Good enough. More than good enough. That's the face of someone who totally intends on building them. It's honestly a good thing that he's so energetic these days, but it'd be nice if he maybe took it down a notch. But seriously, what happened to the guy who was on the verge of death only a few months ago? Hot dog, this is a big day. That night, after going home and eating dinner, I head out to resume my search for the last Kimijima report. Gijine drops some surprising info onto my lap, so I hit it up Uchigaoka Park. It's really not here. The second floor of the old local hall. Weird, that's not a sentence. I exit the building and click my tongue. What was the info that Gijine gave me? She told me the AR annotation from Kimijima Report number 1 had vanished. When I accidentally got my hands on report number 1, I returned the original data to the old local hall. After that, whenever I swung by the park, I had checked to make sure the AR annotation was still there. It remained in place even after Ituro maintenance last month. But now it's gone. Can't download the Kimijima report number 1 without inputting the password, right? That's correct. Gijine answers in her usual mechanical tone. On Christmas Eve, Irie and Gijine found themselves on the verge of being erased during Ituro maintenance. Yet Gijine remains, memory still intact. Unfortunately, Irie hasn't appeared once since then. I assume you know who downloaded it? Correct. The current holder of report number 1 original data is Irei-san. Irei-san. Mizuka Irei? Wait, Mizuka-san doesn't own a phone droid. So how would she be able to see the annotation and enter the password? If nothing else, when Irei-san input the password, she possessed a phone droid. Oh wait, that's a Geji line, not a Kai line. Did you borrow one from Michi like last time? I attempt to give him a call, but after he answers in a drunken stupor, I immediately hang up. Looks like that's not the case. It's possible she borrowed it from family, bought one, or actually did own one and never told anyone. There are plenty of ways. Who told Mizuka-san the password is Hidden Hand? When I talked to her about the reports before, I'm pretty sure I never told her the password. Unknown. There's no record of Gijine ever offering such information to Irei-san. As for Irie, that is unknown. Irei-san has known Irie for over 10 years, so it's possible that she told her. So it was her. However, Irei-san has attempted to enter the password for Kimijima report number 1 multiple times. A total of 36 times to be exact. Wait, she failed 35 times? Yes, considering that fact, it would be reasonable to assume she figured it out on her own. When I first asked Mizuka-san about Irie, she already knew of the reports. She also didn't seem too fond of her. When I was learning how to surf last month, Mizuka-san never once spoke to Irie. Yet they both said they met each other in the past. What kind of connection do they share? It's then that I realized that Misune's face had appeared in the back of my mind, leaving me horrified. Yeah, Misune and Mizuka-san were best friends. Akio and I can barely get in touch with Misune, but she still goes out of her way to talk to Mizuka-san. But who cares? Why am I associating Misune with any of this? Am I actually suspicious of her? No way. What's there to be suspicious of? A few possibilities come to mind, but they're all unrealistic. So unrealistic that I can't help but laugh. Either way, I'm gonna have to have a chat with Mizuka-san. It's already past 10 at night, so the store is closed. It's probably pointless to call now. I don't know any other way to contact Mizuka-san, so I have no choice but to go to her directly tomorrow. I just hope she's there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is another episode of Robotics So It's Elite Like Animal Crossing. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Robotics So It's Elite Like Animal Crossing. But until then, stretch. Stretch. Ochio.